everyone, it's Kevin from Newcastle Fans TV. Miggy Almiron finally does it. 1-0 Newcastle full time. Fantastic. Honestly, I'm one of the fans that didn't get on Miggy's back, and I'm sure there's many watching that didn't either. Throughout his goal drought, he's always worked hard. He's always give everything. He's always been a good grafter. There were a couple of people getting onto his back, likes of TalkSport saying he's one of the players that should be sold from your club in January. Pundits putting him in worst team of the season and all that shit. For me, he got the last laugh, didn't he? Scores a brilliant goal today. But as always, with the quick thoughts, I'll start from the beginning. Newcastle made a couple of changes and a change of formation as well from the game against Burnley last week. Steve Bruce elected to go with Andy Carroll and Joelinton up top in a 5-3-2 formation, it seemed, with the returning John Joe Shelby in the midfield alongside Hayden and Miggy Almiron, who was playing centre midfield / number 10 in a very advanced role, and you could tell it made the difference. And a shout to Florian Lejeune as well. Him coming back into the squad fully fit. It's good to see him back from injury, good to see him back in the swing of things, because he's had a rough couple of injuries, hasn't he? So I hope it's the first of many games back, and I hope he doesn't pick up the same injury that he has in previous. So it's good to see him back. But into the game, to be honest, to sum up this first half, we started okay. We had a couple of good chances. Hayden, if he didn't slip on the 6-yard box before getting the ball, I think it would have been 1-0 after 6 minutes. But unfortunately he slipped. We managed to get the ball into the box, but there was no one there. We had a couple of maybe moments in the first half. There was one where the ball goes up to Joelinton and he knocks it back perfectly to the penalty spot, and there's no one there. That's one critique I probably have of the centre forwards today. They didn't get in the box enough. For me, it felt like at times Carroll was playing as a number 10 and as a midfielder because he wasn't in the box enough. But I don't care about that now because we've got the win. Dubravka made a couple of really good saves in the first half as well, because Palace were testing on the counter with Wilfried Zaha, and Jordan Ayew was causing quite a few problems as well in between the lines, and really showing a couple of problems. And Milivojevic was really good in midfield too. But the game kind of fizzled out at half time. From a decent start turning into just fizzling out. It was a cold, horrible end of the first half where no one was testing anyone. Second half starts and it's roughly the same, to be honest. It comes on to 50-60 minutes and Palace start taking control of the game. They're having a couple of really good chances. Martin Dubravka making a couple of really good saves. I think Ayew had a chance that he put straight at Dubravka around 65 minutes in. Correct us if I'm wrong on that in the comments, but he had a really good chance. They had a really good chance on a corner again. Crystal Palace, it goes into the box, and I think it's Van Aanholt at the back post who just puts it wide, similar to what Southampton did the other week with their full-back on the back post and hits the wrong side of the ball, I think. But the main event, Miggy Almiron steps up. I think he caused a few major problems for Crystal Palace today. Played a couple of decent balls through. The chance that I spoke about before with Hayden, Miggy played that ball in. The ball goes in. I think, from what I remember, I think it was Manquillo or Dummett that put it in. It was one of the fullbacks. Andy Carroll knocks it into the box. Miggy Almiron, from around the penalty spot, just drills it home. The lad that's got no confidence just hammers it home. 1-0, rips his shirt off, he's running into the crowd. You could tell how much it meant to him. It meant so much to the fans, it meant so much to him, to finally get that monkey off his back. Fantastic to see him score, fantastic to see we get the win. And in breaking news as well, people, as far as I've seen the table, we are 8th. I mean, if results go our way, we could be in the top 10 going into Christmas, which would be lovely. Miggy Almiron scoring before Christmas, so that's a nice Christmas present, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's just been such a good couple of weeks. I know the performance wasn't that good today, but who cares when you get the win, right? But as always, I always speak about the opposition as well. Mind, Palace fans, if you're watching, subscribe if you're just popping along, or leave a like or whatever. I do worry for you lot, because if you lose Wilfried Zaha, I think you're going to shoot down the table like a brick to water, to be honest with you. You're just so reliant on Wilfried Zaha, and if he doesn't have a good game, shout to Manquillo who had Zaha in the pocket the day, to be fair. Anytime Zaha got forward, Manquillo had him very, very comfortably. So shout around Quio as well, probably my man of the match today. Comments below who your man of the match was, but I think without Wilfred Zaha, I think he was really going to struggle, because Roy Hodgson, tactically, I've always thought he was inept against, I mean, England, Euro 2016, the World Cup, say no more. Where he cannot set up a team to break teams down or beat lower opposition sides. He's good at mobilising the defence against the big sides, but against the weaker teams he's not so good, as he proved at Euro 2016 against Iceland, might I add. But yeah, if you lose Zaha, he's on knackered. But if you manage to keep him, I think he's more than capable of finishing maybe 10th, 12th, and that's with every greatest respect, because I would probably say, other than Zaha, what you've got, to be honest. You did have an injury-plagued side today with only one fit centre-back, and Van Aanholt looked knackered. I don't know why he played, to be honest. He showed little glimpses of hope, but he's usually hammering it down the flank and causing more problems than he had. He looked like he had a knock. But yeah. Comments below, going into Christmas, it may be in the top 10. 3 points today. Comments, let us know what you thought of today. I thought it was a shite game. Will be second last match of the day, probably ahead of Everton and Arsenal, because that was a snowfest as well. But Miggy Almiron steals the show with an absolute brilliant goal in what is it's probably the champagne on the week, I think. Fantastic all round. So yeah, comments below, let us know what you think of today. And yeah, hope all you have a nice Christmas from me, from lads at NFTV. Later on the channel tonight, we've got Score on the Players, which is being filmed up there as I speak. The final word, the vlog's out as well. Paul's doing that, and got the radio show as well, the Black and White show. So if you just want to stick around for that, plenty to talk about tomorrow, especially Miggy Almiron finally getting that goal there. But yeah, have a happy Christmas. Let us know what you think in the comments of today's game, and yeah, catch you in a bit, Tara.